What's up, SNA Assassinators? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And this is the SNA podcast for the Monday Night Raw review on December 30th, 2024. And yeah, I thought that I was not going to be making a Monday Night Raw review video until next week when they moved to Netflix. But I guess I was kind of wrong because we had a Monday Night Raw live in Houston, Texas. For not only the last Monday Night Raw of 2024, but also the last Monday Night Raw of an era from over 30 years, like for them being in the longest running weekly episodic television channel in history, like which is USA. And this is gonna be the last episode. Like we haven't seen them being move out of Raw from like probably over 20 years. But yeah, like this is gonna be very weird not to see Raw no longer being on the USA Network. But we will be seeing Friday Night SmackDown still be on the channel. And as a matter of fact, they're gonna be upgraded to do an extra hour, which I will be making a review video in January 3rd. Is it? Yeah, which is going to be this coming Friday when they go 3 hours. We're going to be talking about plenty of matches, including the women's championship match between Nia Jax and Naomi. And that's shocking to see SmackDown being 3 hours, just like their fellow Monday night show. But also we will be seeing the return of 3 hours once they go the Netflix next Friday, and they were ready for it. Like they even show it, like especially at the ending, because we got the face to face between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, which we're probably not going to get into right now. But we find out who's going to be in the finals and who could potentially win. And unfortunately, it won't be on the debut show, perhaps the week after. And I believe they're probably doing this for probably for some ratings and viewership numbers, I guess you could say, to tune in on everybody's what they call convenient Netflix service. But yeah, let me know in the comment section right down below what's the theory on why they're not putting it on exactly the same night. But we do have a match that's going to be added on the show, but we're going to get into, like I said, later when I predict who's exactly going to be winning, like on these four matches particularly. But yeah, we're going to start things off with the New Day heading into the ring. But before we saw, that's where we saw Seth Rollins just got in the building, along with CM Punk, with them showing them that what they got with CM Punk wearing his usual like shirts and hats. Well, he wore his like a baseball cap of his favorite hockey team and his hometown team, the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Avengers shirt that he wore, like a yellow Avengers shirt, like with all the superheroes right in front of his tank top. But yeah, this is where we got the New Day and it came out. This is where they're trying to talk, but this is where, they were more worse than Dirty Dominic Mysterio, like everybody was saying. This is where a fan that was wearing a CM Punk shirt and even wearing like wearing his wrist tape. Well, it's like more like gloves that he wore on. This is where he started booing them. And it's where we got Xavier Woods. Said one fan in the front row with his kid say, like, "What? You have a problem?" And this is where it's like, "Yeah, with you for disrespecting our boy Big E." And then I was like, "Yeah, like nobody disrespects the Big E, and gets away with it, and I need to start having a sign up that says justice for E, and don't worry, like you got a tag team partner right here now that's ready to take down your backstabbing former brothers, Kofi and Woods. But that's a different video for a different day. But this is where we got Xavier Woods, and this is where he try to speak what's on their mind, but this is where the fans would not letting them have it. That's where the fans start chanting "New Day sucks" repeatedly. They couldn't even put not even a single word in. It's where Kofi, and this is where Kofi Kingston was like, if you don't let us speak, like about to threaten him with something, but this is where they did not let him get a chance to say it, so it was no point. This is where the fans start continuing to speak "New Day sucks." This is where we got eventually main event Jey Uso found a way to stop chanting that and also booing him with him coming out. audience, just like if he was his cousin and his brothers from one show on this company. As a matter of fact, he's on this show on Raw, while the other one's a world champion over the other company, which I can't mention right now, even though he just retained the title, and I just talked about it this past Saturday. But it's where Uso's like, all right, can you keep it down? Like, this is where he told Xavier Woods asking barely politely, I guess you could say, like saying, like, can you tell us can you tell Jay, like, buddy, can you tell him to keep it down? And this is where then he told him to, but this is where right before they did that, this is where he did a yeet check. This is where then and what did Jay Uso come? That's what he a chump. That's what he said. He's like, all right, fans, like, or WWE Universe or Yeet Maniacs, like, can you keep it down so this chump can have something what he needs to say? And this is where fans are like, oh, and this is where it's like, and this is where Xavier Woods finally talking like, thank you. Like, so y'all like Jey Uso, and this is where then he was like. And it was like, so like y'all want to cheer for this fool, and then this is where fans are like, boo. Like, I thought you had something important to say. This is where Kofi Kingston was like, now what you're doing here, like you're kind of interrupting us right now, which that's very hypocritical for them to say because they've been more worse rude than what Jey Uso was. It's where Jey Uso was like, yeah, like the fans say. New Day really do suck, Oos, and this is where then fans are chanting New Day sucks. It's like, and this is where they're like, oh, thanks a lot, like you're a big help in the sarcastic voice. This is where then, and then this is where then Jey Uso then was like about to say something else. That's where, and this is where then that's where, before he said that, this is where he pointed out that they go way back, like what if they were allies or rivals, like y'all, y'all are the best guys that I ever been in the ring with. Like you Woods and Kofi that I'm speaking to. Like, and this is where Jey Uso did say he had one thing to say, and that was they suck. But it's where then Xavier Woods did not take this lightly. This is where he was about to attack him, but Kofi's like, no, he's not worth right now. Maybe some other time. This is where they walked out of there on the left side of the apron. They decided to walk out and go back to the locker room. This is where fans start chanting Day sucks, along with Jey Uso started chanting. And that's where then Jey Uso was like, but the reason why I'm out here, like the reason why I am actually out here is because I want Drew McIntyre. He's like, yeah, that's why I'm talking to you right now. Like you've been attacking both my brothers, Sammy and Jimmy, like right from behind, like and I want to see you face to face. Like, as a matter of fact, like, how about you come out here right now? And that's where fans start chanting "yeet" every time he starts speaking those words in the sentence. This is where it's like, so I can give you a yeet down. But unfortunately, he did not get Drew. Rather than his tribal chief wannabe little brother, Solo Sikoa, which he has a match next week against Roman Reigns. This is where he starts to, like, this is gonna be a beginning of the end, big bro. Like, and it was like, and your boy and brother Sami Zayn was a little bit too close, having the nerve to go back to SmackDown, last week. Like, but no worries, I took him out. Like, I did what I had to do to make a statement and get a Roman's attention. He was like, and you, Jay, you and Jimmy, y'all. I made a very huge mistake of going back to Roman Reigns, and everything you did that he did to y'all. Y'all should have sided with me, the real bloodline, like with our cousins, Tama, Jacob, and Lola. This was like, and he was like, and this, as long as this is around my neck, again, like this little Ulafala and me being at the head of the table, like I ain't going nowhere, and neither this Ulafala around my neck is not going anywhere. Like it's gonna stay here forever and ever. And then this is where, like, with a shouting voice, this is where he's like, and I'm gonna destroy your cousin Roman next week, like, and then in that tribal combat match, and then I'm gonna remain as your tribal chief and his too. And then this is where it's like, and one way or another, you and everybody else here in the WWE universe is gonna acknowledge me. And then this is where, like, we got But once Jey Uso turned around, he ends up getting Claymore kicked right out of nowhere, more than an RKO, which it was not obviously Randy Orton. It was Drew McIntyre that did it. This is where he hit the kick right into the face. This is where he took off his vest that he was wearing, tossed it right into the side. This is where Drew McIntyre was like, "Oh, you think I'm done yet?" Like, nope, not even close. And then it's where the and this is where the and then that's where the Jimmy McIntyre's like you should have expected this to happen, Jay. And then that's where he started hitting him with right hand, started slamming him back first in the neck. It's where he didn't try to go for another Claymore kick, but I guess he haven't done his wrestling homework, I guess you could say, because one thing he would have knew that you cannot strike the same finishing maneuver twice. And then it's where in a row, unless you got the double whammy card, it's where he tried to do so, but Jey Uso hit his finishing maneuver, which is his version of a kick, and that was the super kick that he and his brother Jimmy do as their finishers. Like, boom, knock him out with the super kick out of nowhere. This is where he hits his he did not hit the spear. He just brought Drew McIntyre down, so he hit some right hands right to the face until Drew knocks him right off, hits him with the glass cow headbutt right into the forward in his head, forehead of his. This is where he tried to go for third time as a charm, but luckily the referees and even the producer, what's his name, Kenny Dykstra came in right in time. This is where they're like, "No, leave, Drew, leave." And this is where we even got Jamie Noble and Sean Daivari got there to join him and block his way from doing more damages to Jey Uso, like in the process, but. But it's where the Drew McIntyre got kicked out, I guess you could say. But it's where we got Drew McIntyre. But this is where we got Adam Pearce that eventually ran in to Jey Uso later on. But this was probably like after any right after any matches that was on in the beginning in the first hour. But I'm gonna say it right here. Adam Pearce then granted Jey Uso his wish. He was like, "You want Drew really bad? Like I'm gonna give him to you. Like, and you're gonna have a match against him next week on the Raw debut show on Netflix." And I was like, this is probably the best idea to do, like, if not like at the next Saturday night's main event, which that's going to be exactly a week before the Royal Rumble, which is going to be at the end of January of 2025. Yeah. But yeah, I guess this is probably better to do it next week on the Netflix show, like in January 6th. And who do you think is going to come out victorious? I know who it might be in the predictions perspective, but I'm not going to get into that until after I review this show. But this is where we got Chad Gable came in. This is where it was like this is where we got Chad Gable taking on Otis, and I was like, I'm not sure why they're doing this match, even though they should have saved it for next week, given they had some extra time, and also like they can just end it right here. But this is where it seemed like it's not going to end just yet. This is where we got what's her name? Kathy Kelly didn't ask some questions about him facing this former ally, and this is where then Chad Gable's like he's gonna he's gonna here's where then he's gonna end Otis, and he's gonna basically remind him who the reason why he is in the Alpha Academy in the first place, and he's gonna also remind him that he is the master of the Alpha Academy forever. And then this is where the Creed brothers like, we weren't just born here, we were just raised here, like. And this where then. And this is where then what's her name? Ivy Alden finished the sentence saying like, we were made here, which that's what the name of their group name is, and that is the American Made. This is where then they made their entrance, like and this is where then we do it at the match, which I gotta admit this was a really good match, like. But I think they just booked the match a bit too soon. I hope that they do a rematch. Just saying, like, at least on the Netflix show. I don't know if they're going to exactly do that. But here's where we got you got Chad Gable to start off and try to go technical, like trying to go for a waist lock, like going right into the back of Otis, but it's where he only hit a right forearm right to the back. But Otis did not take that very lightly. Just where. And where we got Chad Gable starting some knife edge chops. I go for a hand chop, a back knife edge. But this is where we got Otis that throws throws Chad Gable right into the right side after he tried to go for a headlock, but this is where he ends up clobbering with a shoulder tackle. This is where Otis then start hitting some strikes, right strike, left, right, right, left. This is where then we got Maxine Dupree start shouting like, "Yeah, get him, Otis!" And this is where like show him like who's the boss now here of the alpha of I mean the alpha of this academy, true alpha of this. This is where he picks up Chad Gable like if he's a child, picked him up in a gorilla press position and just slammed him face first right into in front of him, right into the canvas face first. It's where he then throws Chad Gable right face first into the upper right corner side arena of the ring, first into the turnbuckle. This where then Otis then start putting his foot right in the hand of Chad Gable. This is where he then picks him up. This is where like about to finish him off, but he gets put double hands to the throat right onto Otis. This is where we got Chad Gable that throws himself right to the left side, but he tried to go for a clothesline. Otis amazingly did a roll like if he like a 5 foot like barely a 200-pounder and just clothesline whack him when he went to the left side. This is where Otis was like, yeah, and this is where then he grab onto this is where he throws what's his name? Chad Gable right to the upper right side, tries to spears him. Like, you're mine now, you son of a biscuit. But this is where we got Chad Gable rolls out of the way. This is where he tries shoulder with that shoulder midsection, but this is where he moves right out of the way. Yeah, he hits shoulder first. This is where Chad Gable tried to go for a German suplex. But Otis then countered, elbow striking Chad Gable in the process. This is where we got Gable to try to grab onto the leg of Otis. This is where he tried to that's where he hangs on. That's where he puts his right leg right into the upper corner middle ropes. This is where he grabs onto the left leg. This is where he goes for a dragon screw. Bends the right leg right through the ropes. This is where he's like, I never felt this much pain before. This is where we got Chad Gable to grab onto that leg and start spinning it, try to go like a reverse version of the figure 4 leg lock. He's not doing it to me, and I felt that, and I was like, yeah, like that's something you do not want to sell here. Like, even if you're the most toughest competitor in the business, but this is where we got Chad Gable going for a leg lock, like bending the left leg very badly, trying to make it more worse than that damaged right leg. This is where then we got Chad Gable. Once Otis got out of it, this is where both men got back up, but Chad Gable was like about 5 times quicker because he went for a splash. Chad Gable went right. Otis went right to the top corner side, tried to go for a runaway splash, but this is where Chad Gable moved right out of the way, goes up right, and he lands face first, like right into the canvas. Chad Gable went right to the bottom left corner side, hits a diving headbutt, but Otis rolled out of the ring. He hits head first, like, my head. And this is where then we got Chad Gable. Barely knew it was the last Monday of 2024, period. This is where fans start chanting, like Otis, like, you had a chance. This is where then Otis then took his chance, like, of making a comeback. That's where he goes for a couple close. Hits a spinning elbow drop. Like, I hope that we won't be seeing those cease and dismiss papers from a former wrestler from WWE that's now in the other company for that maneuver. But that's where we got what's the name? Chad, after he did that right into the sending Chad Gable right into the upper right corner side turnbuckle, he hits a big devastating clothesline right on him and to the right. It where Otis then waited for Chad Gable to go to the bottom right corner side, right into when he was waiting for the diagonal side, the upper left. He hits a forward running headbutt. This is where this is where Otis tried to go for a pin. But this is where Chad Gable's like hanging on to the ropes. He's like, nah, like, what's the point? Like, if he's gonna hold on to Otis is like, I have a better idea anyways. Where then I believe he did the caterpillar, if I'm not mistaken. Like 1 counter and 2 counter and 3. So it's the elbow drop, even though he nearly slipped, but he decided to improvise, just elbow him anyways without any special other what's that called? What's that taunting? And this where he was almost about to win for the 1-2, but there was a because them meddling alpha kids, these meddling American kids, like from American Made of the Creed brothers and Ivy now put Chad Gable, their Papa Gable, I should say, his leg right into the bottom corner ropes. That's where the referee pointed it out, but they did. But they put it in right on time. That's where we got Kyrgios Alstar trying to fend for his teammate Otis, like to try to fight off what they call it, the Creed brothers on his own, but I think that was a ginormous mistake. They need to have a new ally on the Alpha Academy to take out the Creed brothers and solve that problem. But it's where they double teamed on him, but luckily Otis was there to help out his little buddy. This is where he throws Julius Creed right into the ring post on the bottom right side. Then he grab onto what's his name what's his name? To Brutus Creed, doing right over the barricade, ran right to the timekeepers there near Lillian Garcia. This was we saw a very funny spot, but Lillian starts screaming and then moved out of the way, which that's probably golden goofy wrestling that has to be of the night. But this is where we got Julius Creed throws him soon right after. This is where then we got Maxine Dupree, yeah, that's. Anyway, she was like, and that's why you're the new alpha. This is where then she was like, thank you. This is where then she was like, now if you excuse me, like I got got the other ally of the American Made. And that was what's her name? I forget her name. Ivy Nile, that's where her name is. This is where she jumped on her, hit some loose ass press right on her, just hitting some strikes on the something that we never thought we'd see from Maxine Dupree, low key. But that's where we got Otis got right back in the ring. He tried to charge at Chad Gable, but he trips him right over by super kicking his leg, send him right to the top corner slide, try to go for an ankle lock, thinking that put him away, but Otis somehow got out of it, and this is where then he pushes him right off. But this is where he hangs on to that leg and turn it into like an Achilles lock, and then turn it right back to an ankle lock. And I was like, geez, like what is up with like some wrestlers doing that move like this past week, like from the last days of 2024? I'll say, and I can name one in particular, but I think I already mentioned that on my podcast. But that's where Otis flings, with the Chad Gable right into the left side. Is where we got Otis and try to get himself right back up so he can think of what move to hit Chad Gable next. But before he can even have that idea and comes into questions, this is where we got Brutus Julius came back in the ring, but that's where he threw Julius out of the ring. That's where we got Brutus to try to do the same. That's where he ends up getting slapped around by Otis. He tossed him right back and tossed him right in the ring with him. That's where Otis then hits the splash. Looked like about to hit his signature move, double time this time. He knew he got interrupted by Chad Gable when he got back in the ring from the top corner side. But he gets exploded suplex by Otis, and he got thrown right into his fellow American-made three brothers, like right into the bottom left corner side, back in that side, right into the in the diagonal side, I should say. It's where we got Otis and nearly got him with a body slam, and then tried to go for an ankle lock of his own. This is where it was successful. This is where he got locked in, give him a taste of his own medicine, and an insult to injury kind of situation. And this is where then at first he had him locked in for good. This is where it was like just inches away from making Chad Gable tap. Like, this would be very humiliating. I was surprised Chad Gable flipped right out of it and started kicking Otis right into the face, which helped him give enough time to start punching and slapping him. But it's where Otis then let his anger got the better of it. It's where it was like, rah, start screaming, start bending his arm. It's where, not bending his leg, I meant to say, while I'm talking about bending his ankle. And I think he did too much. That also gave Chad Gable a place to exit out of. Like, maybe he shouldn't. I'm not sure I should mention. Right into the face, right onto Chad Gable when trying to go for a diving head. But Otis is like, nah, it's my chance. But this is where he gets distracted by Ivy now by grabbing onto his leg. It's where Otis is like, like, what are you doing now, Ivy? This is where Ivy's like, nothing. I had your shoes was untied. I thought I might do a kind gesture. This is where did she move right away, step right out. This is where he gave Chad Gable enough time to get right back up so he could trip over Otis and hit an ankle lock. That's where he got locked in. That's where it was hanging on to it, like if he was his idol that does not like the what chant from the fans. Like, that's from Pittsburgh, which I'm not sure why I'm referencing him. It's obviously Kurt Angle, like, because he has a Legends deal with the company. That's where Otis had nowhere to go, and he ends up tapping, and it's where in the middle of the ring, Chad Gable left the building victorious with Creed Burns lifting him up with them side to side, hanging on to him with leg to leg, like with him celebrating a bit. That's where, but yeah, I gotta admit, Otis did look like a star right there, and he was very over, even in defeat, like with him being so close each time. From what if it was a caterpillar, the ankle lock? He almost had him won, and hopefully we see a rematch in down the line, even if it's next week or even a random episode of Raw with them being on Netflix for the next couple of weeks. Like, but let me know in the comments below. Do you think they should have did a rematch? I know some of y'all probably be saying that this shouldn't have been a feud that they should have revisit, especially at this time. Like, unless if Otis is like in that same level of where Chad Gable is, but I guess but like there's not really much to complain about here. Like, even though I do agree with on most antics, like what y'all coming from, but it's like the old saying goes, if the world bring you lemons, make lemonade. And that's what WWE's doing right here. And I hope they stay in this path. Like, the only thing they can do wrong with this, if they don't follow up into this match with Chad Gable and Otis, like if they have any plans of making Otis somewhat of a megastar. But yeah, even for defeat, he looked really great out there, and he even got praise from Rey Mysterio when he got backstage, like when he was getting cheered up with all the baby faces, like including the leader of the LWO. Well, I'm gonna get into that in just a moment, but it's where we got Rhea Ripley, like, did send a message to Liv Morgan that she and then when she showed that she was once the best women's champion, like back from for over a year, and this where she's like, but my mistake was taking the eye off the ball, and that was Liv Morgan when she had a revenge tour, like when she made her return, and this is where she put her on the shelf by hitting her shoulder right on the wall, and this is where we saw they had a double turn and stuff. And this where this, and also when I try to get the towel back, I was betrayed by those that thought I could trust. But it's where that you like. But once we step in the new year, and one thing that's gonna be back up being clear to me, like. And after all the betrayal, and after all the backstabbing and all the league of Liv Morgan, like he taking my spot, and like this has to end like soon, and this is where then. This is where the show Liv Morgan opinion. This is where she was like, I promised to take everything from Rhea, and that's exactly what I did. And then this is what you like in 2024, and that was like 2024 was the year of Liv Morgan's revenge tour. Like it just and everything you did to me, Rhea, like I'd send it right back to you. Like, but only better what you did. Like you put me on the shelf, like for like I don't know about some, like but. I put you on the shelf. It may have only been like just for a few months, but I took everything, your belt and even your own teammates and your man Dirty Dom. And then I was like, yeah, that's exactly what you did. But except for the last, except for I'll say the last part, I guess you say, because that's what. Because because they didn't reveal anything about her joining the Judgment Day, and also having the affair with Dirty Dom until SummerSlam when she successfully retained over Rhea, which was probably the first time, like until like they're trying to do a rematch at what pay-per-view was it? Bash in Berlin, was it? Which it was Raquel that helped her retain that match, but it's where they show like what happened like over the past months, like of 2024. And that's where Rhea Ripley's like, but you may have taken all that weight, but you took all the dead weight that was holding me down at the same time. And, now it's time for I return the favor, and I'm gonna become the women's world championship, and I'm gonna reclaim my championship. And this is where then we got but it's where they move on and they show the Judgment Day next. This is where then Finn Balor start asking questions where Liv Morgan is to Raquel Rodriguez, which you was like, duh, like she's getting prepared for her match against Rhea Ripley, which we probably assume like otherwise, which we're gonna get into later on after. it is where then that's what she was like. She getting prepared for Rhea, so I never got a chance to talk to her like how she's been doing this. Where then Finn Balor's like, oh yeah, Lady Liv, like it is what she was like, and yeah, this is our sarcastic. This is where Finn Balor's also added sarcastically saying, yeah, she got a plan for everything, don't she? Like just like I have a plan, like on how to deal with the War Raiders and Damian Priest. And this is where the Carlito's like, yeah, that's absolutely cool. What you're speaking. This is where he flipped his apple, which was pretty impressive and cool, not to mention. But this is where Finn Balor's like, yeah, you damn right, that's cool. Like. And like he was like, yeah, like my catchphrase, as long as you listen to Finn, that's when we're gonna win. And let's just say that was not exactly the case yet again for probably the fifth for the 15,000th time, which I'm not sure if he'll ever learn that. Like and maybe Liv is right, like even though that doesn't rhyme. And sometimes maybe it shows that when you rhyme, like when it comes to basic rhyming, if it's not guaranteed 1, 2, 3, and that other catchphrase that rhymes as well, like when it's a true statement, no pun intended. Before I reveal it, like is that like whatsoever when they were going talking to each other back and forth. Which I guess that those little advice that Adam Pearce talked to CM Punk, and I believe even Seth Rollins worked in a way because they finally got what they wanted, and I guess that's one and I guess that's one way to tell them don't be trying to rip each other's heads off. Save it until next week's episode of Raw when they move to Netflix, when everybody's gonna be watching, when it's the must-see event. But that's where we got Dakota Kai taking on Zoe Stark next, and although before it was about to be that, this is where we got it was supposed to be a R-Truth versus Pete Dunne match. That's where then we got something that must have triggered Pete Dunne to make it go otherwise is because what R-Truth just said. Let's crank it up in this butch, I guess you could say, which it sounds similar to the word like you're not supposed to say, which is with an I, which some of y'all probably call me out for saying it when I'm talking about that guy that's on the other company that just won and retained his mid-card championship in the final tournament. But yeah, this is where he said like that, let's crank it up in this piece, and here we go. And this where this match is where happened because this is where he gets attacked from behind, and I'm like, geez, like R-Truth just cannot get a break from getting attacked from behind when it comes to entrance. He's the complete opposite of that guy. Like that used to be the Lone Wolf here that was backstage at the other company's pay-per-view. But and that's where the Pete Dunne's like, come call me Butch, and I am not your Butch. And I'm not nobody's Butch in that matter. I'm not your Butch, and I'm not your Butch. I'm not nobody's Butch. That's where we got all the referees came out there. It's like, get back into your locker room now. Like we're not sure if R-Truth's even well to compete now. Like, all thanks to you. That's where he let him know that he's nobody's Butch. That's where we got Dakota Kai, Neil Sky, who was there like, yeah, we got our matches. That's and we're going to become the we're gonna make it to the finals and see which Damage Control member that's gonna bring home the women's United States the women's Intercontinental Championship. And I was like, and I'm gonna tell you, assassinators, like let's just say it was one of these gals, but I'm gonna tell you as soon as it was one of these gals that made it to the finals, but that's what I'm going to leave it for now. But this is where we got, what's her name? Sarah Schreiber's like, yeah, y'all got a shot to make it to the finals. And it's a bittersweet one for this title. Like with one of y'all's teammates been taken out, but luckily, like you were there to replace her. Who cares? I would consider that y'all could both be facing each other one-on-one in the next 2 weeks, like for the final. This where the guys like, yeah. This where she was like, yeah, like I'm up. Yeah, like we're gonna get that spot, and that's gonna show send a message to both Zoe. I'm gonna show the knock Zoe out of the card. Like, and this where and then my girl Io, she gonna be in the semifinals with defeat like Elvira with respect, like even though she's been a long time, like a long half a year rival here on Raw, but like it'll be an honor to fight you in the match in the women's title. Like as long as it's gonna be like a first ever, as long as it's gonna be a Damage Control member, that's gonna be the first ever Women's United Intercontinental Championship. And I thought this was gonna be like that. We're gonna probably see a heel turn from one of these gals and reveal that they were the one to attack what Kairi Sane, but that really not Pure Fusion Collective. But I don't think they're gonna go in that direction. They're gonna stick that it was indeed the Pure Fusion Collective that did attack them, But this word is like, but that's all that really matters. And I still think like that could be happening. That's gonna be a Damage Control member. But it's where that's where we got Sarah Stripes. Like, yeah, and to you, EO, like you're gonna be facing a girl that you faced so many times, and that is Lyra Valkyria. So how confident, like how I have my respect, and I got. Like, I'd see her being champion here in the main roster, but tonight that's not going to be her night to make it happen. Like that's going to belong to Damage Control, and that's where she did the fist bump. That's where it's like, all right, let's do this. That's where we end up seeing Dakota Kai taking on the PFC member Zoe Stark, and she was ready to fight her faction rival Dakota. This is where. This is when Dakota Kai did the fist bumps, the EO, the wish luck to each other. This is where Dakota Kai start doing high fives to the fans. This is where she pointed out that baby is hers. This is where then she started going for right hands to Zoe Stark right and send her to the upper left side. This is where she started Irish whip her right to the bottom right side. But she ends up getting countered by the former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. She was getting speared by Zoe. This is where she gets thrown right back into the upper left corner, but Dakota Kai ended up doing that. And this is where she goes for a springboard flip, doing a monkey flip by all the Zoe Stark. But this is where Zoe amazingly got right back up from the monkey flip, like without falling on the ground. This is where he's like, nope, like you're not gonna take this machine out. But it's where Dakota Kai was like, oh, you want to bet by clotheslining her? What machine are you? It seemed like you're a punching bag.